Europa-Park is one of the best theme parks in Europe, if not across the whole world. During my visit, I was absolutely blown away by not only the amount of rides and attractions at this place, but also just how well themed everything is, operated with a lot of pride and care and attention by an engineering company who build all the rides and maintain everything. It is a beautiful, well-crafted, innovative place. Some of the rides obviously better than others. Some things, as I point out in my video review, are a little bit more derivative, but as a whole, as an experience, I honestly could not recommend visiting Europa-Park more. So I've already done a full video review of when I visited Europa-Park, and I'd obviously highly recommend checking that out. It is a full, comprehensive, detailed review of the entire park, the atmosphere, everything that you'd need to know about a potential visit of your own. But in this video, I'm going to specifically do a tier ranked list, ranging from the major attractions and roller coasters all the way down to some of the more niche kind of jank rides that you probably wouldn't have much of a reason to go on, and everything in between as well. Now there's a couple of important things to add here. First of all, Europa-Park advertises itself as having 100 plus attractions, and how it defines attractions is a little bit loose, so I've taken a little bit of initiative, shall we say, in just trying to apply some logic and only really ranking what I would truly consider to be an attraction. I'm not going to rank a random thing that you go up to and press a button on. Secondly, I'm using an incredibly sophisticated and intricate tier ranking algorithm. It goes from S tier, the very best of the best, all the way down to F tier, the very worst of the worst. There are no rides that go in the E tier. I don't know why. Just don't worry about it. And then we have DNR, which means did not ride. Surprisingly, a lot of things fall into the DNR category, and obviously those things won't be ranked. So this is a standard tier list that we're all familiar with, but the rules that govern said tier list are stringent, but I believe that they are fair. Only 3% of all of the attractions can be an S tier, and only 2% can be an F tier. So in other words, don't get too concerned if your favorite ride is not in the S tier ranking, etc. That's just the reality of the algorithm. Now, with all of that said, please sit back, enjoy this tier list, and of course, if you like this video and my other video reviews, do consider subscribing to the channel. Without any further meandering, let's get into it. We are going to go through all the attractions in alphabetical order, just to be clear, and that means that we're starting with Alpine Express, and this is going to go for a solid C tier. And the reason that it's a C tier is because this is a solid mine train ride, but the wait time felt excessive for what it was. I think it was recently renovated when we went on it. Maybe that increased the busyness of the attraction. I think it is a legacy attraction. It's certainly family friendly. Obviously, it's a good one for kids. You get 2 laps around a really well themed area, but it's not that massively thrilling. And when you've been on the mine train roller coaster at Phantasialand, it does really distort your opinion on what a mine train can be. However, the theming around the log flume really does make this a very aesthetically pleasing ride, and it's solid fun, therefore it is a solid C. Arena of Football, we did not ride. It's a bumper car attraction. We spent basically no time in the Britain section because that's just our lives. People might enjoy it. Next up, we have one of our first major attractions, and that is Arthur, and this is going to go straight into the A tier ranking because it's a very innovative 4D roller coaster experience. I've never seen this ride type basically anywhere else before or since. I like the fact that it is based on an IP that nobody cares about, some sort of weird jank European animated series, but the theming is still exceptional, and it resides in its own mini zone of the theme park, which I thought was really cool. There is a section of the ride that goes outside of the show building. I always like that when something sort of twists in and around a building. I thought that was really cool. I really like how it intertwines with its environment, basically. There's also a section of this children's ride, no one ever talks about this, that randomly just goes through like this ghetto section on a virtual screen, and they just start playing explicit Snoop Dogg lyrics, and it's so completely out of touch with anything that exists throughout the rest of the park, and I just find it so hilariously the wrong vibe and politically incorrect that for me it just adds to the fact that this is otherwise a really enjoyable and unique ride. It could be a bit more thrilling. It's certainly not S tier, but for me I think it's a very deserved A tier. Next up, it is Atlantic Adventure. This for me is a D tier. It is basically just a rip-off of the Buzz Lightyear tier attraction at Disney, but just not as good. And there isn't really much else to say. Your finger gets quite tired after a while. Now we have Atlantica Super Splash, and this is a very, very strong B tier attraction. And this ride is incredibly good for what it is. It is a straight up big tidal wave style water ride where the guests watching you arguably get more wet than you do actually riding it, which is absolutely fine. The station building and the surrounding area is very, very well themed to the era of Portuguese exploration. The initial lift hill builds the tension nicely and provides you with really excellent views of the park and the resort area. And then the false backwards drop is just a bit of fun with this turntable that then moves you forwards towards the main event. And it's all really good build up. And the drop itself, which features this really cool double dip bunny hop hill, it's just brilliant. It's really, really exhilarating, and you'll have a great time, especially if you manage to time it with the pirate themed dive show. It looks good and it feels really nice to ride on a sunny, beautiful day. Like, there's nothing really not to love. You can even hang out on the pirate ship next to it and have a couple of beers. It's a really great ride. Then we move on to Bar Express, a sheep themed little kiddie roller coaster, and it's a D tier because it's a nice and gentle kiddie coaster, and I can't really rate it any higher or lower. Next is Bellevue Ferris Wheel. This is a DNR. I didn't go on this because I don't remember this existing. I think it looks like an awesome, massive Ferris wheel. I just simply have no recollection of this being here when we visited. I believe that this Ferris wheel does move around. Maybe it's only around in the winter season or something. I just think a massive Ferris wheel I would have noticed. I would have wanted to go on it, but I honestly just do not recall seeing this gigantic ride anywhere. So it's a DNR, unfortunately. Blue Fire Mega Coaster, and this is one of the exclusive rides that received the coveted S tier ranking. I think this is quite simply one of the best roller coasters in the park and probably across all of Europe as well. The initial launch is really fantastic, and the roller coaster track passing by these near misses and going and ducking and weaving in between all these like rocks and facades. I just really, really enjoy this. It stays tight and close, but also does have really good moments of airtime as well. And I think that the themed area as a whole is really impressive, even though the ride is bizarrely, or was bizarrely, sponsored by Gazprom, which I find a little bit strange for something that's set in the Iceland area. It really beat any expectations that we maybe had of it, and those expectations were still quite high as it was. So it's an S tier. British Carousel, it's a DNR. Our lives are literally a British Carousel, so we didn't need to ride that. Likewise, Carnival Barn, I don't know why I've even added this on the list. I think it's a space that you can go to or rent or something. It's a DNR. Cassandra's Curse is a D tier, and this is because it's just not as good as Hex Legend of the Towers at On Towers. It doesn't have anywhere near that level of theming. I guess if there was a more substantial pre-show, maybe I would want to rate this higher, but you really do just queue up for a bit and then you're straight into the Madhouse attraction. And here's the thing, the Madhouse attraction is not that fun. It is not that thrilling, it's not that exciting, especially if you've been on ones like these before. I'm not going to make this video about Hex, but I think Hex is a really good dark ride basically, and Cassandra's Curse just isn't that. Next up we have Castello di Medici. This is the Haunted Mansion attraction, and it's a C tier. It's Italian Haunted Mansion, and it's incredibly derivative of the Disney attraction. It basically follows what feels like the same layout and uses the same ride vehicles and system, etc. Now what does set this apart is how genuinely frightening it is. I'd say for little children it is quite gruesome. There's quite violent, aggressive imagery here. I'm pretty sure you die and go to hell. So yeah, I think it's genuinely scary, actually. I think there was some stuff in there that I was like, whoa, I'm surprised that that's on a ride for families and children. Germans go really hard, I guess. Crazy Taxi, it's a DNR. It's just some London cabs, I guess. I don't know. Dancing Dinghy. This is a C tier because we really appreciated how this ride had fantastic theming for such a small side attraction. And it's just in its own show building within the island section. This lovely like red brick building with the facade. I just thought that was really cool. So I think that alone means it's a C tier. It's a little bit of fun and it doesn't have anything bad that you can really say about it. I just can't really justify rating it any higher, but I quite liked the look of it. So Dancing Dinghy gets a C. Dr. Know-It-All, who knows what this bonuses. It's a DNR. Elf Ride. This is going to be a surprise. I'm putting this as a B tier. I think it's a very charming and enchanting little boat ride, and it's nice to enjoy a change of pace in between the thrill rides. There's a really nice theming to it, and it's just a bit of whimsical fun. It's probably very good for families and children, so I'm happy to rank this as high as I have. I love the toads in it. It's a B for me. And what is also a B tier is Euromere, which sadly I believe is imminently, if it has not already, closed. This is the funniest roller coaster in the theme park. It's actually really well themed in a nostalgic late 90s sort of way. It has an incredibly catchy techno theme song, which in of itself elevates this ride to B tier. The excessively long lift hill, during which you experience a techno rave at the top of a space rocket, is just awesome. It's got these really hideous animatronics that look so dated. I just love it. It just oozes the era that it was built in. The actual ride itself is quite rough and ready, but whilst not being too thrilling or intense, it's really solid fun, and it's absolutely in the highest echelons possible of the B tier. Euro Tower, it is a DNR. I don't know why we didn't go on it. It's pretty crazy. We just didn't. It's a DNR. Eurosat. I really wanted to enjoy this more than I did. As such, it is a C tier. I really like the concept of putting Space Mountain inside of Spaceship Earth, and then to have it themed after Moulin Rouge, this sort of Paris at night thing. It's really good fun. I know that originally the ride had a more generic space theme. I think it's probably better that it's more closely aligned to the French area with the Parisian theme. But unfortunately, the ride is just a bit mid. And especially given the excessive wait times, I just can't rate this any higher than a C tier. Faraya Swing is a DNR as well. Fjord Rafting, it's a pretty good river rapids ride, but it's nothing particularly special or exceptional, so it's going to go in the C tier. It's not bad, it's fairly good, it doesn't blow you away. And special shout out to the fact that I do rather like the gnomes. Flying Dutchman, that's a DNR, and so too is Grand Prix Adventure, which admittedly might not have actually been open when we visited, so I don't know why it's on this list. Jim Button Journey Through Morrowland, sadly that's a DNR. I loved some tractor action. Josephina's Magical Imperial Journey, this is going to be a C tier. The name of this is funny because it seems to glorify Austrian imperialism. Anyway, it's a gentle change of pace. I kind of like that, and if you have nice weather, it is a lovely time. The theming is very good. However, there are still some weird virtual screens that have been added as part of a recent renovation, and we just hated these because you could actually see them repeat when you went past, like the clip ended and then they just started again. I thought that was really strange. I think C is fair. Jungfrau Glacier Flight, that's a DNR. Coffee Cup years, I guess this translates as coffee cups, right? In the Dutch section. I don't actually remember going on this, but I did give it a C tier, so I guess we did. It does not do anything above and beyond what is expected. And if you like a teacup ride, and we're British, we like tea, it's a middle of the road attraction. C for tea. Columbus Jolly. I think it means Columbus Journey, or it just literally means Columbus's Jolly. That's a C tier. It's one of the 2 dancing carousel rides in the Spain area, and I actually really appreciate the level of theming that's got into a mid-tier attraction. Again, Europa-Park does this really well. Dancing Dinghy's another good example of this, and I don't have any major complaints, nor do I think it sets itself apart. It is a good waltzing style spinning ride. The Spain area in general suffers from not having a truly flagship attraction. Instead, it just has 2 very similar mid attractions, and I think C tier is fair, but I think Spain could really benefit from just having one good B or A tier thing. And then Liechtenstein Balloon. No offense to the Liechtenstein area or indeed the nation of Liechtenstein, but the balloon looked kind of cool, but yeah. Limerick Castle. So this is a children's play area, and you may think it's a bit weird to have this on the list, but I am going to count it as an attraction, and I am going to give it a B tier, because whilst you may think that it's a high rating for a children's play area with slides, these slides are awesome. There's like a whole castle area that's been themed here, and I really appreciate how you can clamber up the castle and explore around it to get to the slides. And even as adults, we could really appreciate this, and I imagine it's really great fun for kids as well. So I am just going to place this in B tier. It's arguably the best thing to do in the island section. It looks great and it's really fun, and it's like a labyrinth to get lost in, and the slide's friggin' ridiculous, so it's cool. London Bus, I've been on enough of these in my life. I do not need to go on London Bus. It's a DNR. Madame Freudenreich's Curiosities, my god. Right, so this is an A tier without a shadow of a doubt. This is the most heartwarming and feel-good ride ride in all of Europa-Park. Listen up, we live in uncertain times where it often feels like there are pressures and anxieties beyond our control that can really weigh us down. And this ride gives me a glimmer of hope that there is a better and braver future where humanity can live in harmony and peace. This ride is a pure ray of light. It is a testament to what is true and good about humanity. The dinosaurs are adorable, and the twist at the end nearly had me in tears. I loved it, and it is fully deserving of A tier as the best children's / family ride in the park. Matterhorn Blitz, that is a C tier. It is another attraction that I wanted to enjoy more than I did. From the outset, this looks like a really quirky and fun roller coaster. The elevator section at the beginning is really unique, and the fact that it is a tight mouse coaster, you know, it looks janky and interesting. However, I just found it too rough with the sharp turns that hurt you if you're in a train carriage full of adults. Monorail, it's a form of transport, but I'm counting it as an attraction because it's kind of cool. It's pretty novel. It's a B tier for me. The monorail is low-key one of the best ways to break up your day at Europa-Park. It affords really good views of the park, and it allows you to just get a bit of a breather. Mulmul's Carousel is a DNR. Old McDonald's Tractor Fun is also a DNR. And Panorama Train, that's right, it's a DNR. Pegasus. So, in my full video review, I refer to this ride as a bit of a dark horse, and I'm sticking to my guns. It is a B tier attraction. I do think that it is actually a very surprising level of thrill that you get from Pegasus, given it's actually quite fast and steep. The first drop really does send you going, and I had a soft spot for this. Pegasus is a B for me. Piccolo Mondo, Italian Small World, is fine. It's a D tier. It's a somewhat superfluous ride given that Madden Freudenreichs exists and is way superior in my opinion. It just doesn't really have that magical wonderment of It's a Small World at all. It's largely forgettable and it's just okay. Pirates in Batavia. This is a ride that seems to be such a cult hero among many visitors of Europa-Park. So many people love this ride and it's good. I just don't really get that hype. It's a B tier for me. Obviously, it's a highly derivative version of Pirates of the Caribbean, and it is good. The effects are really good. There is some fantastic animatronics. The set pieces and theming is fantastic, and I also really like the music, but I've been on the Pirates of the Caribbean many times, so I guess I can't help but think, yeah, this is just Pirates of the Caribbean, but everyone's kind of Dutch. It doesn't have much in the way of unexpected thrills, and when I compare it to something that really subverts expectations, like Valhalla at Blackpool Pleasure Beach, you know, it doesn't do anything like that above and beyond what makes me want to rank it any higher than what I think is a very fair B tier. Sheep Rock. I don't even know if that's a ride. Did not ride. Silver Star. Okay, here we go. So this is the controversial choice that I've had to make. My Sophie's choice, if you will. Silver Star is an A tier, but my god is it scrambling to be an S tier. This is a really fantastic roller coaster that honestly only just misses out on being S, and as a minimum I would say this is the highest rated A tier on this list. Silver Star is a brilliant roller coaster with one amazing, phenomenal S tier world-class first drop. It is the tallest ride at Europa-Park with the highest drop, and the amount of airtime that you get from the subsequent hills is brilliant. The trains are open and airy with highly comfortable restraints, and it does everything brilliantly for a hypercoaster. My only reservation about placing this as an S tier is the fact that it doesn't quite have that little extra something special that the other S tier attractions do. It is also the car park ride. It's inches away from being an S tier. Silverstone Racetrack, we did not go on this either. We really did not go on any of the British stuff, to be honest. Sleigh Ride Snowflake. So on the complete other end of the spectrum, this is the F tier. This is objectively the worst ride at Europa-Park, in our opinion, that we inexplicably chose to go on during our visit. Truthfully, if Piccolo Mondo was already pointless, I do not see any value in this ride even existing. I just don't know why it's still operating. This ride looks and feels like some bloke just built it in his spare time. It doesn't have any of the finesse, and I don't want to talk about it anymore. It's F tier. Snorri Torin, if we flip all the way back to the other end of the spectrum, is a B tier because this is a very unique, quirky, and genuinely innovative attraction. And this may be something of an advert for the Rulantica Water Park, which I do have a full video review about if you want to check that out. However, despite the fact that it is just basically a marketing ride, It's really cohesive, the theming is really clear, and the ride did not have a big wait time. We had no idea what to expect from it, and through some very unique features, we were very surprised. So I think B tier is super fair. Spinning Dragons, this is a D tier. It's essentially a teacup ride, except it's themed after Irish dragons. I rate this lower than the teacups, however, because as an adult, you have to sit by yourself, which kind of makes it a bit sad. Swiss Bob Run, this is a B tier. Bobsled roller coasters are very rare, and the only other one that I'd experienced was in Blackpool Pleasure Beach. Before I'd been on this one and the Blackpool one, I wasn't actually convinced that they existed outside of Roller Coaster Tycoon, and I would say that this is comfortably the superior ride compared to that. The theming is enchanting. It's being set within this small courtyard area of the Swiss zone, which is a highly immersive area despite the fact that it's surrounded by the other nations around it, and it does a really good job of being exactly what it is. It is a bobsled roller coaster where your train is literally just sliding around the slalom course, not on a track, and that's cool. Triola Log Flume. This is an A tier because as log flumes go, this is a really good one. I may not have the most exhaustive list of log flumes in the world, but this one ranks up there. You get pretty damn soaked on this, so pure value per drop, as measured by volume of water alone, pushes this high up in the tier rankings. And look, in all seriousness, as a water ride and a change of pace from the thrill rides, I'd say that this was arguably my favorite water ride, and I personally feel it does enough to be in the A tier. This is also aided by the fact that it has some really fantastic theming around it following a recent renovation, passing through the adventure trail as well as the mine train, all of which interact together, so it creates this very cohesive overall storyline. Tower Toe, did not ride. Vienna Wave Swing, this is a C tier. Everybody enjoys a big chain swing ride, and this attraction very much follows the tried and trusted formula. We rode this immediately after a water ride, and it was a really good way to dry off, I guess. I like it, and I think that C tier is appropriate. Vintage Cars, did not ride. Voletarium, A tier. An absolutely delightful experience. Yes, this very much is European Soarin', and if you've been on that Disney attraction, you have essentially experienced this. Europa-Park does a really good job of taking this ride system and applying European magic to it, and if anything, it made me feel even more emotional about Brexit and no longer being an EU citizen, because despite there being a British section in the theme park, like, we're just not in Voletarium at all, and that's just kind of sad. And it's also a really good epic ride to end your day on because it's right there at the park exit as you go out. So I think magical, A tier, fantastic. Volo Da Vinci, I'm giving this a B tier. I really like this attraction. I think that it's fairly different and is not replicated elsewhere in the park, and it also doesn't come across as derivative of other attractions at other theme parks either. It has really nice theming, it is completely inoffensive, you get really cool views of the park, and there's also the option of exercise. Got a cool queue line, and it's a very good one for children and for guests who are not into thrill rides, so I'm gonna say B tier. Voltron, okay, I'm giving Voltron an S tier. This is the new flagship ride for Europa-Park as of 2024, featured in the brand new Croatia section, and this, in my opinion, is currently the best roller coaster and indeed the best ride overall in Europa-Park, and certainly one of the best roller coasters in Europe, if not the world. I know that this is a bit controversial because there are caveats. This is a really innovative ride that features multiple launches and some ridiculous unique elements that completely blew us away. The queue does quite a good job of completely obscuring what to expect, and if you don't know what you're getting into or haven't read about this, the first ride is insane. It looks brilliant in the Croatia area, which itself is lush and lovely to be in, steel intertwining with these white buildings. And if you're thinking about a trip to Europa-Park, this roller coaster, in my opinion, should be the reason that you decide to go, because it's phenomenal and it's the kind of ride that we would expect to see in Orlando or at a Six Flags, and we have it here in mainland Europe, and I think that is awesome. Now, I do know that some people find this ride uncomfortable, so I will explain that on our first ride on Voltron, we were just blown away. We honestly just did not see it coming. We were like, oh my god, this is like seriously one of the best things that we've ever experienced in our lives. On our subsequent rides, we were subject to some of the roughness. Our heads were shaking quite a bit in the seats, and I have since learned that apparently there are certain seats or rows on the trains that can be quite an uncomfortable and rough ride. That wasn't our experience when we went on it first. Our experience was just smooth, purely really good fun. And like, frankly, even considering the fact that, yeah, it can be a bit of a rough ride, like I just hadn't been on anything like it before. I have to give it an S tier. I know that for some people it's not the best ride at Europa-Park, but for us, yeah, we thought it was absolutely incredible. Water coaster Poseidon. This is a B tier. Poseidon is the sort of ride that I kind of expected a bit more from. I thought that this would be an A tier attraction given its extensive theming and how good it looks. I just ultimately felt that the roller coaster section was a bit too rough and janky for my liking, and it really wasn't that comfortable. The final drop and splash into the lagoon is nonetheless really great, and honestly it is a brilliant set piece for the Greece area, so I think all in all B tier is a very fair rating. We did not go on the Whale Adventures Northern Lights, which is sad because it did look kind of cute. Windjammer, this is a B tier. It's a big pirate boat swing. I mean, who doesn't like those? Windjammer is set in a lovely location. You get really great views of it if you're on the monorail, and also when you're on it, you get great views if you sit on either end of the pirate ship itself, and obviously you get really good airtime as well. I think it's fairly thrilling. I'm a sucker for this type of ride. Windjammer is a B for me. Wodan for me is an A tier, and I appreciate that some people may stop watching the video now. Well, joke's on you, there was only one ride left anyway. This roller coaster is definitely obviously pushing towards S tier for me. It is an exceptional A tier ride. This is a massive wooden roller coaster with very prominent and intimidating theming. The ride has a fantastic steep first drop and is very exhilarating throughout, with near misses and airtime hills, plus a really cool section that runs through the ride station. And like Silver Star, for me, it just does not have that extra special thing that elevates it to the above and beyond S tier ranking. Bear in mind the algorithm, guys, how this ranking system works. I can't just dish these S tiers out. This is an epic, amazing, incredible attraction. Voltron is an epic, incredible, amazing attraction, but Voltron just had that je ne sais quoi. And Wodan for me, it's brilliant. It's so fun. It's really thrilling. It's exhilarating, but I'm not feeling the sexiness from it. I'm just not getting that same je ne sais quoi. So it's an A tier. And finally, for some reason, Yomi Adventure Trail as a B tier. Similar to Limerick Castle, you may question why an adventure trail is rated so high, and the answer quite simply is the theming. It's exceptional. We as 4 grown-ass adults made our way through this meandering adventure trail, despite physically suffering from the cramped spaces not designed for us, and we still found it really fun and engaging. You know, you get nice views of the park, and the trail weaves around the log flume and around the mine train, and it's very cute and it's very charming, and I can't really rank it any lower than B tier for what it is. It's really good and exciting fun for kids and families. And there we go, that is my full tier list for Europa-Park, based on our visit, of course, and all of this is based on my opinion. I appreciate that you almost certainly have opinions of your own that may differ significantly. Maybe you agree. I would love to know. Please leave your comments below and let me know what you think. Where would you place certain rides differently on this list, if at all? And of course, please do watch my full video review for Europa-Park if you haven't already done so, where I go into way more detail about the whole theme park experience itself, as well as my Rulantica water park review if you are considering your own trip to the Europa-Park resort and would like to visit both of those places. And of course, if you like this content and would like to see more of it, hit the subscribe button to follow my channel and see more videos like this in the future. Until then, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.